Today we've got a bit of a shorter video, a little bit different with some important information. In this video, I want to update you on a couple of things that have come to light, give you some new information, and also a reminder of some things that may have been forgotten. So we're going to visit two different departments in this video. The first one being, here it should look familiar, the Orange City Police Department in Florida, where the chief, Wayne Miller, still continues to avoid me. He avoids any opportunity for any transparent conversation to clarify his own words and actions. He so far refuses to speak for himself, so I guess he's happy with the image that he creates to the public. But that's not why we're here. Do you remember Kyle Walker? Kyle Walker was actually the person who started my interaction with this department back in August of 2023 by violating my Fourth Amendment rights. You'll remember Kyle Walker and Shadrach King. There have been many videos. Kyle Walker was the one who initiated it all. He is the one that started the Fourth Amendment rights violation. We saw many videos of Kyle running away from me in my attempts to have a conversation with him to make sure he understands the Fourth Amendment, because his administration wouldn't have that conversation either. And we looked further into Kyle. And as you saw in many videos, he seemed to make a habit of violating people's rights, acting like a bully and a tyrant, creating hardships that didn't need to be created for citizens, and using his position to protect his feelings and retaliate for his feelings against citizens. We saw so many examples of this. You'll remember a case where a driver was read his Miranda warning, and he was asked if he would like to speak with police about what they wanted to question him about. He very clearly said no, he did not want to speak. You'll remember that from that point on, Kyle badgered him with questions, continued to accuse him of illegal activity, asking incriminating questions over and over again, all after the citizen invoked his Miranda rights, invoked his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Much like the Fourth Amendment, Kyle Walker either doesn't know about it or doesn't care about it. We tried many times to get him to talk, just have a conversation. He refused. He knew what he was doing. He knows he was wrong and refuses to face accountability. And he managed to avoid accountability all up until the time that he abruptly quit his employment with the department during his one-year probationary period by just randomly sending a brief resignation letter, effective immediately. I explained to you before how that's not normal, because they sign an agreement that if they terminate their employment voluntarily within their probationary period, they'll be on the hook for all costs associated with their training, their hiring, all their equipment. If they get beyond that year, they won't have to pay it. And this is because departments don't want to waste time and money on someone who's just going to abandon ship. But Kyle jumped overboard. This is not common just because he'll have to pay the city back everything that they spent on him, but typically for a cop to just immediately resign, effective immediately. Most times, this is because something has happened. Typically, they've done something that they know they can't get away with. They know they're going to be terminated, potentially criminally charged. This could be something that occurs on or off duty, and they know it's just not going to look good, so their best bet is to quit right now and hopefully jump to another agency, and whatever was done may not come to light because they quit before it could. Not saying that's what happened in this case, but that's the most common reason for something like that. Well, it seems Kyle Walker has found new employment as a law enforcement officer at Edgewater, at the Edgewater Police Department within Volusia County, Florida. So it's not too far away from Orange City, where he abandoned ship during his probationary period, where he was violating everybody's rights, acting like a bully and a tyrant. Not too far away, about a 20-30 minute drive. Also another very small agency, about the same size. And just days ago, I just found out today, matter of fact, it was another officer with another department who informed me of this, and I verified it, and yep, sure enough, Kyle Walker now has been sworn in as a police officer with the Edgewater Police Department. So they're spending the same amount of money that Orange City did on his training and everything. He'll have to sign that agreement, or he did sign that agreement again, that he'll pay the city back if he abandons their ship as well. And I doubt much has changed. I have to assume Kyle Walker is still Kyle Walker. So people of Edgewater, be warned, and definitely stay tuned, because we will follow up on his actions in Edgewater. Once a cop like that gets the attention, they have to retain the attention in the interest of public safety. I wonder if they saw all the videos on him before they hired him. I can't imagine someone would feel comfortable hiring him after seeing all of that, and I can't make it up, it's on video. So stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned, because when I was here at this department, I ran into and had a conversation with someone you will not expect, probably the last person you'll expect, and you'll definitely want to see it. It is very, very interesting and maybe productive. Most of you will be surprised, so stay tuned for that. And from here, we're going to jump over to the Deland Police Department, where I want to talk about a couple things and bring some things to light that maybe have been falling into the shadows. If you remember, the Deland Police Department, over recent history, has banned the First Amendment of the Constitution, or claim they're going to ban it. I don't know. They just wasted taxpayer money on signs, I guess. And they are flat out refusing to provide public records that have been requested going back 3 months now, maybe more. And it's not just me. So these are big, big issues that have stemmed from the initial issue. But they're so big, they've kind of drowned out the initial reason we're spending so much time here. And maybe that's part of their intent. Perhaps they would like to have the light taken off of what the light was initially put on.
So, I brought some new decor.
Brought some new decor? Oh, check this out. Wait. We came in and we found a unicorn.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Nice. Where did you find that? This is Corporal Spires. If you've seen in previous videos, he's what I call one of the good ones from everything that I can see. Many of you have said in the past, well, how many bad cops has he spoken up against? I bet he hasn't done that. And that's not true. He has. I won't get into everything in this video, but in the words and the actions that he has demonstrated, he seems very pro our rights, very pro Constitution, very pro the people, and very anti-tyranny. And the unicorn reference is from previous videos also, where I've made the comment that finding those qualities within law enforcement seems to be like finding a unicorn. We initially came to this department to inquire on one of their internal investigations on one of their officers who still works there, Damon Clark. Before they banned the First Amendment, before they ignored the Sunshine Law and flat out refused to provide the records that we request, ignoring public records laws, before everything else that they've done since then, this IA that's in my hand right here, which I'll email you a copy of if you want, is disturbing. I wanted to learn about it. I wanted to bring public awareness to it. If you're not familiar, essentially, other officers at this department came forward to say that Damon Clark, who is a corporal and a canine handler, while working a detail at a local high school with other officers, was making inappropriate comments about students. It also details how he responded for a call for service within the city, where he met with a female, took her husband or boyfriend to jail, then went back to provide her a shoulder to cry on, so to speak. And while the male was in jail, he continued to go back to provide that shoulder to cry on, and had some pictures and videos allegedly of her crying on his shoulder, which he then showed to co-workers while on duty at the Deland Police Department. Further investigation into Damon Clark reveals a long history of things like this, including a dishonorable discharge from the military for having extramarital affairs with the wives of other servicemen. And there's a lot more to it than just that. But when we start to involve juveniles, it becomes even more disturbing, more concerning. But the apparent predatory behavior and mentality in general is very, very disturbing. Many officers at this department and other departments come to me and ask me, how the hell is this guy still employed here? They can't believe it. Apparently, the only ones that don't have an issue with it is administration at this department, who for some reason do everything they can to protect this guy. And this department has done everything they can to silence and stop our investigation into him. And I think it's very important we don't forget about that. I think they want us to forget about it, but we can't forget. We haven't forgotten. We won't forget. That was the main goal. Now we just have to battle all these other hurdles they throw in our way as we do. Now, that copy of the investigation that I'm carrying around, if you remember, I had been leaving copies of their own internal investigation into Damon Clark in their lobby and marking it, suggesting the public read it if they choose, writing on there that it's property of Twisted Luck Media. Please don't remove. Email me at twistedluckmedia@gmail.com if you want me to provide you with your own copy. And you'll remember the department kept removing this, and that was a whole big ordeal as well. They kept taking my copy and making no report of it as they're required to do. But this particular copy that you see in my hand here, they eventually left it alone. They left it there to stay. Only after I proved that I can prove that they're taking it and violating their own policies and the methods that they are taking it. And it's very anti-transparent for them to take this anyway. It would seem as if they were trying to keep the public from learning about it. I was mainly coming in because I wanted to bring we kind of strayed away from my point. So much has happened, you know. This turned into that, and you know, everything else. But and they still won't give me. I'm still getting no records back from them. None. How long ago was that? I told you. What was that? 3 weeks ago? That Dice finally responded to one of my emails. He finally. I was sending Dice these emails over and over, like one a week, saying, "Hey, can you explain the delay?"
Yeah.
Finally, he responded to one of them. Eventually, he gave this big, long, nonsense, passive-aggressive response, and then closes it with, "You'll be notified when your requests are filled."
So I think the state alone, and this could be for anybody in general, is that it doesn't. It says reasonable amount of time.
Reasonable amount of time, right?
It doesn't have what a reasonable amount of time is.
That's the problem, and that's what they're taking advantage of. But even though, I mean, I think now we're at like, for some of them, 12 weeks.
I remember you saying it was like 10 weeks.
I don't. Yeah, it's got to be. It might be more than that now. Let's make a point. Look at this. There's some found property within the lobby. Somebody left some paperwork in the Deland lobby of the Deland Police Department. Corporal Spires, looks like somebody left some paperwork within the lobby. Do you want this?
I'll take it.
What will happen with this?
I actually know whose that one is.
Oh, you do?
So I'm going to give it, she's coming back on Monday. That's her registration. She might need that.
So you wouldn't just throw that away or anything, though?
Nope, I wouldn't.
So you would either hand deliver it to the owner, or if you didn't know who the owner was, what would you do?
Do a report for safekeeping.
Really?
I would.
Well, that's weird. I left property here several times. For some reason, it just always vanished. I've always checked these found property lists, but it's never been on there. I actually emailed about it, too. I emailed about this list, and I was like, hey, can I find any of my property that... And I even gave them the serial number of the U.S. currency that was stapled within one of them.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard back. Haven't heard back. But yeah, no, mainly today, I want to check on that. And, you know, just a reminder, what the hell, why, that's been forgotten. That's been my main point. And that's been forgotten. And it's crazy. People in other agencies even will ask me, hey, what's up with that dude in Deland, that Clark guy? Does he still work there? I'm like, as far as I know. And he does, I imagine, as of now, still work here, right?
He's on nights, so I would imagine.
Well,
I haven't seen his name or heard his name. I haven't seen him.
Yeah. It just seems...
A month and a half, probably.
Yeah, I know you're not going to comment. I wouldn't ask you to comment, but it seems a lot of people have a lot of concern about him outside of administration here. Administration seems to like him, but...
I've heard that.
Yeah. People approach me all the time. Other departments, the sheriff's office, other smaller departments around, bigger departments around, they've seen these videos and they're like, hey, what the hell? Have they done anything with that guy yet?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Almost seems like, I don't know, like he's got dirt on somebody or something. If I found that much about his history, they could find everything that I've found. Yeah. So I'm sure they have. And for some reason, they're okay with it. But yeah, it's just I just kind of realized that so much shit has spawned off of the initial shit. We kind of forgot about the initial, or I stopped focusing on my initial focus and just trying to bring attention to that and trying to get some sort of response from administration as to why. So I just don't want that Damon Clark thing to be forgotten. It's very, very important that the public be aware of it. And I'm sure every day new people are becoming aware, and that's important. At the very least, people should know about it and come to their own conclusions, form their own opinions, but they should at least have the information. Like I said, if you want your own copy, email me. I'll send you a full copy of that internal investigation report from this department, just like hundreds, if not thousands of you have already received and requested and received. Many others have voiced opinions identical to mine. That is very, very disturbing that someone like that is out there on the streets working as a police officer. It genuinely seems that only his own administration are the only ones that don't seem to see that. But I want to make sure this still stays in the light and to let you know this is not forgotten. Lots of other things have come up that need attention too, but that is not forgotten and it remains very important. And stay tuned, more will come out about it. Check out the links in the description and pinned comment for the previous videos and playlists on more than just this story. And like I said, stay tuned. Coming soon is an interaction that you didn't see coming. Neither did I.